Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about a very special short story. It's called The Last Leaf by O. Henry. It's a simple story, but it has a very big heart and teaches us about hope, love, and art.
So, let's start with a big question. What is hope, and what does it cost? In our story, we're going to see that sometimes hope can ask for a very high price. Let's find out what that means. Here's our plan for today. First, we'll learn about a young artist who gets sick. Then, we'll meet the important people in the story. After that, we'll discover the secret of the leaf. And finally, we'll understand what the true masterpiece really is. Okay, let's begin. Our story takes place in a small apartment in New York City. Two young artists live there. Their names are Sue and Johnsy. They are good friends and they share everything, including their dreams. But one cold winter, something bad happens. Johnsy gets very, very sick. The sickness is called pneumonia. But it's not just her body that is sick. Her heart is sick too. She feels so sad that she doesn't want to live anymore.
All day, she lies in her bed. She just looks out the window. Outside her window, there's an old brick wall, and on that wall, an old ivy plant is growing. It's winter, so the leaves on the plant are falling down. As she watches the leaves fall one by one, she gets a strange and sad idea. She tells her friend Sue, "When the last leaf falls from that plant, I will die too." She really believes this. Of course, her friend Sue is very worried to hear this. She tells Johnsy, "That's a silly idea." She brings her soup and tries to make her happy. She asks her not to look at the leaves, but Johnsy just keeps watching and counting them.
Now, to really understand this story, we need to get to know the people in it. There are three important people we should talk about.
So first, we have Johnsy. She is the young artist who is sick. She feels there is no hope for her. The doctor even says she has a small chance to live because she has given up. She really believes her life is ending. Next is Sue. Sue is Johnsy's best friend. She is so kind, and she works very hard to take care of Johnsy. She does everything she can. She cooks, she works, and she tries so hard to bring hope back to her friend. And finally, there is Mr. Behrman. He is an old painter who lives in the same building, just downstairs. He can seem a little grumpy, but he cares a lot about Sue and Johnsy. For his whole life, he has dreamed of painting a great painting, a masterpiece, but he has never done it.
So, Sue doesn't know what to do. She goes downstairs and tells old Mr. Behrman about Johnsy's strange idea about the last leaf. That very night, a very bad storm comes. It's windy and raining very hard. The storm is so strong all night long. Sue is sure that the last leaf on the vine will fall. She is so afraid. If the leaf falls, she thinks Johnsy will lose all hope and die.
The next morning, Johnsy wants to see. She says, "Open the curtain." Sue slowly opens it, and they can't believe it. The last leaf is still there. After all that wind and rain, one little leaf is still on the vine.
You know, seeing that strong little leaf changes something in Johnsy. She thinks, if that small leaf can hold on, so can I. For the first time in a long time, she wants to live. She asks for some soup, and she starts to get better.
A few days pass. Johnsy is getting stronger. But then, Sue comes to her with very sad news. Their neighbor, Mr. Behrman, is dead. He got pneumonia, just like Johnsy, and he died very quickly.
Sue explains what happened. On the night of the storm, they found Mr. Behrman in his room. His clothes and shoes were all wet and cold. And outside, they found a ladder, a lantern, and some brushes with green and yellow paint. Then Sue asks Johnsy to look at the leaf again. She says it never moves when the wind blows. And right here, at the end of the story, we learn the truth. We finally understand the secret of the last leaf. It wasn't a real leaf at all. This story is about sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you give up something very important, maybe even your own life, to help someone else. Old Mr. Behrman made the biggest sacrifice of all. So let's think about this. Johnsy saw a real leaf. To her, it was a sign from nature. It gave her a reason to hope. But what was the reality? It wasn't a real leaf. It was a painting on the wall. It wasn't just a sign from nature. It was a beautiful gift from a loving friend. It was an act of selfless love. That night, in the cold and rainy storm, old Behrman went outside. He climbed the ladder and he painted one leaf on the wall. He finally painted his masterpiece. It wasn't a big painting for a museum. It was one little leaf that saved a life. It gave Johnsy her future, but it cost him his own.
So, this beautiful story shows us a few big ideas. It shows us what selfless love really is. It shows us that hope can come from unexpected places, and it teaches us about the true power of art. Art is not just to look at, it can touch our hearts, give us hope, and even save a life.
The last leaf reminds us that the greatest art is sometimes a simple act of love. And it leaves us with something to think about. In your life, when things are difficult, what gives you hope? What is your last leaf?